Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. One of the most important elements in the investigation of a crime is to know whether the criminal is a professional or an amateur. The amateur presents the greatest problem because he doesn't follow a set pattern, but presents a strange and unintelligible M.O. One Sunday last March, an amateur planned to burglarize a warehouse. His method was crude and direct, but in the execution of his robbery, he ran into unexpected problems brought about by a one-in-a-million chance coincidence.
Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, what?
Burglary, Cranston Warehouse at Grenoble.
Who's on it?
2376.
Tell them we'll be right there.
Headquarters to 2376. Headquarters to 2376.
We gotta get back and get the gun.
Yeah, maybe we've got time.
Oh, we take time. You want them to hang a murder up on us?
Okay.
Let's go.
Cops, we're too late. Yeah, we better get out of here.
Oh, darling.
Oh, Peg.
Jim, I'm so glad you're home. The baby's getting worse. Her fever's going up.
Listen, Peg, something happened. Something that fixes everything. Peg, you're going to call the highway patrol.
Why, Jim? Why?
Because I just took part in a robbery. There's a $5,000 reward.
Jim, what are you saying?
This is a professional job. No amateur handle that safe inside.
There's not much more to do around here.
After they're through inside, give me a check on the prints, will you? What do you figure about that window that was given?
Doesn't fit in at all.
Everything inside was the work of an expert. That window's the work of an amateur.
But not the safe. Whoever opened that had fingers with ears. It's a new one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Come on, let's go.
Nothing else makes sense. There's no food in the house. This is something you don't understand, Peg, but I've got to do this.
But you'll go to jail, Jim. They may even execute you if that watchman dies.
Maybe, maybe not. Can't be any worse than coming home listening to your kid crying because she's hungry. Please, Peg.
What about those stains in the alley?
Blood. The lab boys feel pretty certain that from the watchman's position and the blood stains, he hit somebody.
Amend the bulletin to include a wounded man. Notify all doctors and hospitals.
Oh, the company that insures the warehouse wants to send a man around as soon as you can see him.
Anytime, anytime. Nothing from the roadblocks yet. You suppose those guys live in Grenoble?
No reason why not. Something else bothering you?
Yeah, if we could get that Jimmy Winter, the rest of the job follows the pattern. Run it through the MO files, will you? Matthews.
My name is Peggy Rogers. I live at 1117 Paley Street in Grenoble.
Go ahead.
My husband, he's home now. He was in that warehouse robbery. There's a reward, isn't there?
Yeah, the insurance company has a standing reward offer. Where is he now?
He's at home. Please hurry.
What's the address there again?
1117 Paley Street, Grenoble. Hurry.
Give her the rest of the formula.
I was saving it till tomorrow.
By tomorrow, you'll have the money.
Jim, I've got to know. Did you rob that warehouse?
I was there. There were two other guys.
But did you rob it? If you did, where's the money?
The others took it. I was left with the watchman. And this. Well, what difference does it make? I went there to rob the warehouse. I broke in.
Head to back. I'll take the front just in case.
Who is it?
Matthews, Highway Patrol. Thanks very much. There's an officer out back. Get him for me, will you? All right, sit down. This your gun?
The one I used.
The one you used on the watchman?
That's right.
How'd you get into this, Rogers?
I pulled the job with two other guys. When the watchman spotted us, they beat it.
Who were the two other guys? All right, I get it. You're going to turn yourself in, but you won't talk.
Just not telling you about the other two guys, that's all.
And you want your wife to get the reward?
I expected the money I got from the warehouse job would kind of square things for us. Food, a doctor for the kid. Didn't work out that way.
Shake those down. All right, stand up. Now, what about your wife? Did you tell her you were pulling the job?
No, she didn't know anything about it.
She didn't, huh? I'm going to have to take your word for it. All right, cuff him. We'll take him in.
The baby looks pretty sick. We better call for a doctor.
We'll do that right away. All right, come on, move. $21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
We've just picked up Jim Rogers. You'll hold the roadblocks. Now, look, get a doctor out to the Rogers house right away. His baby's very sick. 10-4?
Right. There are a couple of reporters here. Shall I hold them for you?
Yeah, 10-4.
Roadblock, Highway Patrol.
What do we do now?
We'll have to go back to town and lay low until they pull those roadblocks.
We have to go back, then I gotta see a doctor. My hand hurts.
We can't take a chance here in Grenoble. By now, the cops will know that watchman's shot. And they will have found blood. Every doctor around here will be alerted.
Well, I gotta do something. My hand hurts.
Well, I'll stop and get some bandages and stuff. It doesn't look serious.
What about the other two guys?
You've got everything I'm going to say. Now, what about the reward?
Mr. Thompson, the insurance company, will be here any minute. He'll talk to you.
Peggy talked me into turning myself in. She's entitled to it.
All right, she'll get it. Don't worry. Check fingerprints and ballistics, see what they got. Now, what about that window?
What window?
Let's go back to the warehouse. He can clear up a few things for us.
Why?
It's strictly routine. Oh, hello, Mr. Thompson.
Hello, Matthews. How are you?
Fine. Come on into my office. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stand right here.
Sit down, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Was that the man out there?
Yeah, that's him. Just admitted he robbed the warehouse and killed the watchman.
Something bothering you?
Yeah, he had the gun with him, the one that was used in the killing.
Well, looks like you've cleaned this up pretty quick.
No, not quite. There were two other guys with him. They ran off with the money.
I see why you're concerned.
Yeah, the poor guy's dead broke. No food in the house, and he's got a sick baby.
Well, you think it's a phony confession?
What I think doesn't make any difference. He signed a confession.
I see. What do you want me to do?
Well, maybe you could tell him something he doesn't know. That the reward money won't be paid until after conviction.
I see. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't. Might change his story. Let's go talk to him.
Here's a ballistics report.
Thanks. Rogers, this is Mr. Thompson from the insurance company.
How do you do, sir?
You'll pay my wife the reward?
That's right. We pay the reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the guilty parties.
We need the money now. Arrest and conviction.
While the Highway Patrol worked against what they knew to be little time, expending their energies on a false confessor, their roadblock system had unknowingly prevented two real criminals from making good an escape. But these two hardened and wise professional criminals, unless captured soon, would break through that roadblock system.
Hey, he's got a gun, Harv. Wait, he's got my gun. Hey, wait, what's the matter with this guy confessing to something he didn't do?
That's not what worries me, Sam. If he's got that gun, that means he was there when we shot that watchman. We've got to get him.
Yeah, you're right. He can identify us.
Yeah, that's why we've got to get him before he does.
Yeah, but he's in custody.
Yeah, we'll go see his wife. This is a small town. She won't be hard to find.
Let's get with it. Where'd you park the car?
Right about there. Look, Mr. Matthews, about the reward.
We'll get to that later. Right now we got work to do. Tell me about this window. How was it jimmied? Who jimmied it? Whoever did set up a burglar alarm. That was pretty stupid, you know.
I'm not so sure I remember so good.
You backing out in your confession?
No, I'm not.
We're going to prosecute you for the killing. Whether you back out or not, because we got too much evidence on you. Come on, let's go. Rogers, who opened the safe and how was it opened?
One of the others. I don't know anything about safes.
Where were you when it was being opened?
I was outside. I was listening.
Who had the watchman's schedule? How much time do you figure he had before he came around again?
One of the others. I don't remember how much time we had.
How much was taken out of here?
I'm not sure. We figured maybe 10,000.
Didn't the guys you were working with tell you?
There wasn't time.
One more question. Why were your fingerprints on this window that was jimmied?
police are constantly faced with false confessions. But in the case of Jim Rogers, there was a little more. He knew the faces of the real criminals and had their gun.
2150 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
My 1020 is the Cranston warehouse. Rogers just made an escape. Every available unit, block off this area. Now, Rogers is not armed. I repeat, not armed. Capture without shooting. 10-4?
10-4.
Why didn't you let me fire?
Because I don't think he had anything to do with the killing or the robbery.
And where'd he get the gun?
He probably saw the real hoodlums kill the watchman. He picked it up.
Had his wife turn him in for the reward.
Yeah, the poor guy's broke and he's got a sick baby. He's just not thinking right, that's all. Come on, let's go.
Good morning, Mrs. Rogers. I'm Ferguson with the Daily Eagle.
Hello.
I don't know whether you read the extra that we put out, but the whole story is right there.
You mean about Jim?
That's right. I'd like to get your angle on this story. Why your husband confessed and so on.
You'll have to ask Jim. I don't know why he did it. Maybe because the baby was sick?
Don't get upset, Mrs. Rogers. Didn't he say anything about the other two men, who they were?
No, he didn't say anything at all to me. But I don't believe that he robbed that warehouse and killed the watchman. Excuse me. Hello?
Peggy, this is Jim. I got away from the cops. Honey, I didn't do it. I said I did it for the reward, but they won't pay it until I'm convicted. That could take months.
Jim, why did you do it? Go back to the police. Explain what happened.
No, not now. It's too late for that. We gotta get out of town.
No. Where are you now? I'll come. We'll talk. Maybe we can figure something out, huh? Please wait, Jim. Where? Service station at 3rd and Village. All right, I'll be right there. Of course, darling.
We got a break. Rogers got away from the police. He's at 3rd and Village, waiting for his wife.
To headquarters.
Headquarters by.
We're going to the Rogers house. We figure eventually he's going to make contact with his wife. 10-4?
10-4.
I wonder if the guys who pulled this job were wise to the fact that Rogers was watching.
Well, they know now. The newspapers have the story.
And that makes him a witness to a murder.
You mean they might not like him walking around?
They might be a little irked. Let's go, huh?
We missed him.
What do we do now?
Well, go to his house. He's a cinch to go there. He wanted to talk to his wife, and we made him miss her. Come on, we'll check.
Oh, come in.
Thank you. Mrs. Rogers. I'm sorry to say your husband escaped. We have a feeling he's going to come home.
Mr. Matthews, Jim is innocent. He didn't kill the watchman.
This might surprise you. I think he's innocent, too. But if he doesn't start talking right away, something awful could happen to him. He can be tried and executed.
But he didn't kill the watchman. Why should...
We're on the radio with headquarters. Have the area blocked off in 5 minutes.
Any word on the other two men?
Nothing. We don't have much to go on.
Well, once we pick up Rogers, maybe he can describe him.
That was Rogers' house we just passed. And that patrol car isn't there by any accident. It also means that Rogers hasn't been caught yet. So now you be careful. We'll sneak up on the rear of the house.
Say, the baby looks all right.
Yeah, she's a cutie, too. Mrs. Rogers, are you telling me everything you know?
Yes, Mr. Matthews. I've heard from my husband only once since this morning, and that was while the newspaper man was here.
What newspaper man?
Mr. Ferguson from the Daily Eagle. He was here when Jim called. I guess he knew something was wrong. He was gone when I finished talking to Jim.
Was he alone?
Yes.
What do you look like?
Well, he was medium height, had a light sport jacket on, carried a hat, a striped tie.
I'll call her right in.
Okay. Mrs. Rogers, did he look like he was badly hurt?
No.
That's the house.
And the cops must be in there.
Yeah.
Wonder how many there are.
I don't know. But they expect us to walk right into a trap. And that's our chance. We'll have one shot. And we'll get out of here, get the car, and go back and wait for them to lift those roadblocks.
Sounds pretty good to me. Well, I sure hope I can hold out.
Oh, your hand?
Yeah, it's killing me.
Hey, Ken. Look, I've been in spots before, but I wouldn't give this one to a leopard. We're hoping Rogers gets through. Now, we're looking for a guy who looks like 1,000 other guys. We're also looking for his partner who may or may not have a bandage, and we got to sit tight here.
Well, it happens that way sometimes.
Oh, you're a great help. Look, I'm going to check the alley in the garage. Keep an eye on the street.
I think we're wasting our time.
Yeah? He'll waste a lot of more time in prison if he puts the finger on us.
Not much time, Sam. They'll give us the works for knocking off that watchman.
Yeah, no two ways about it. We gotta get this guy. Killing him is the only way we can get in the clear.
All right, Rogers. Come on back with your hands up. Move!
You won't need the ambulance.
You ready to talk, Rogers?
How's the kid?
It's going to be all right.
Those are the guys that robbed the warehouse and killed the watchman.
What were you doing there?
I broke that window. I was going to...
Yeah, I know. You're going to pull a job yourself, huh? Hey, look, if the judge gives you a break, we'll see what we can do about getting you a job.
Jim, are you all right?
Seeing as you delivered the killers personally, why don't you take this? It'll hold you over for a little while. But you got to come with us. How about 20 till next Thursday? See Highway Patrol next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross or your community blood bank, not on the highway. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.